The first water storage tank with a capacity of 360,000 gallons is now operational at Tufton Hall in the parish of St. Mark. Constructed under the Climate Resilient Water Sector in Grenada G-Cruise project, this tank will enhance the National Water and Sewage Authority NAWASA's service to 1,500 households within the parish of St. Mark and nearby communities in the parish of St. John. This momentous occasion is heartwarming as many reflect on a process that started almost 10 years ago. Brainstorming, strategic planning, and concept submission for the G-Cruise project started around 2017, with stakeholders analyzing the state of the country's water supply system. Climate change impacts on the water sector, including increased precipitation, leading to flooding, infrastructure damage, coupled with the occasional drought-like conditions, were among the many challenges facing the water supply system. The approximate Eastern Caribbean $130 million or US $45 million project, approved by the board of the Green Climate Fund, started in November 2019. The 6-year project, funded by the Green Climate Fund (GCF), the German government and the government of Grenada, aims at building resilience within the water sector in Grenada using a holistic approach. Officially launched on 25th February 2020 at the Grenada Trade Center Annex in the presence of government officials, representatives of civil society, the business community, and members of the general public, this adaptation project is being implemented by the Grenada Development Bank, NAWASA, the Government of Grenada, and the German Development Corporation (GIZ). The welcomed commencement of the project was shortly thereafter challenged by the COVID pandemic in 2020 and 2021, resulting in a slight change in its usual business modus operandi to that of virtual engagements. Following the return of the country to normal business operations, the project quickly picked up pace, achieving several milestones across its 5 components. Specifically, for enhancing the water infrastructure and overall system, Component 3, numerous months of visits to potential tank sites, engaging landowners, designing the tank systems, procuring tanks and pipeline materials, all materialized on the 19th of September 2023 with the official turning of the sword to signal the construction of the tanks and pipe-laying works. Exactly 15 months later, the first water storage tank in Tufton Hall, St. Mark, was commissioned, a major tangible accomplishment for the G-Cruise project and by extension the people of the state of Grenada. Approximately 25 million euros is being expended towards enhancing the water infrastructure system under the project. Chairman of NAWASA's Board of Directors, Mr. Philip Alexander, in recognizing the financial and technical contributions made towards the project, described the end result as a transformative approach to water management.
I want to particularly thank the persons who have contributed and the agencies to the Green Climate Fund and the entire G-Cruise project. Marianne, to your own leadership, I want to thank you for doing that. I also want to recognize that the 1,500 households that will benefit from this, in my mind, is the tip of the iceberg. So if you could develop significant amount of storage capacity and building resilience in the system, you would have more to share at the national level.
NAWASA's Acting General Manager, Mr. Terence P. Smith, reflected on the historical significance of the Tufton Hall site.
It signifies, first of all, NAWASA's commitment to improving the resiliency of our water systems. It signifies also NAWASA's commitment and action to improving the climate change adaptation, because clean water storage in a community for a community is one of the tried and tested and recognized methods of climate change adaptation.
For resident and parliamentary representative of the parish of St. Mark, Dr. Clarice Modest Cowing, the additional storage capacity is welcomed.
Water is life. Our body, the greater part of our body, 70-75% of our body is water. And therefore, if you lose and you don't replace, then you're in trouble. And we cannot live very long without water. So this project is a vital project. And so I'm quite pleased with the pace that has been picked up so that we could get to finish in the cycle phase so that we don't lose anything.
Dr. Modeste Cohen further implored upon her constituents and citizens by extension to think about and practice water conservation and the adoption of rainwater harvesting measures.
I learned through this G-Cruise project more about rainwater harvesting, more about conservation, more about proper utilization, because we waste water. So we must utilize our water very carefully and so that others will use it.
Head of Project GIZ G-Cruise, Ms. Marian Geis, emphasized the significance of the project as a symbol of collective responsibility and resilience.
We must all do our part to conserve water, especially in times of plenty, to ensure that there's enough to go around in times of scarcity. I would like to take this opportunity to thank NAWASA and the Government of Grenada for their partnership and their dedication to this project. Without this passion that we demonstrate daily and the dedication of each individual in the project, we would not have been able to make this happen.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure and Public Utilities, Mr. Alva Brown, congratulated NAWASA on this major milestone. He challenged them to complete the remaining tanks expected to be delivered under the G-Cruise project.
With this project, we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that no community in Grenada is left without access to clean and reliable source of water. Water is a fundamental resource, one that underpins public health, economic growth, and environmental sustainability. Indeed, for some time, residents of St. Mark and surrounding communities have faced challenges in accessing consistent water supply, particularly in times of droughts and peak demand. With the commissioning of this facility, we are taking a significant step forward in addressing these challenges. This strategic investment of over $2.5 million is made against the backdrop of creating a viable future for our people. However, it would not have been possible without the support of our valued partners, the Green Climate Fund, the German government, and implementing agencies such as the GDB, NAWASA, and the GIZ. Your contributions reflect a shared vision for a future where water security is strengthened, ensuring that every household, business, and institution in Grenada can depend on a steady and high-quality supply.
With the completion and commissioning of the Tufton Hall water storage tank, many look forward to seeing more tanks being commissioned before the completion of the project life cycle in June 2026. At the time of this video production, a 500,000-gallon water storage tank was completed in Marabou St. Andrew. In the community of Pegiswim in St. Patrick and Montrouge in St. George, construction works are also ongoing for the erection of a water storage tank at each site. Both sites will have a 500,000-gallon tank. These 4 tanks are part of the Group 1 of a total of 8 tanks that are expected to be completed by the end of the project cycle in 2026. Water is life. And with the upgrades made in the water supply sector, storage tanks and pipelines under the G-Cruise project, citizens are reminded to continue practicing water conservation and to look to installing their own water storage supply. Climate change is real, and we all have a part to play to ensure that we make ourselves and our island a climate-resilient nation.